Imagine when a one-card combo does way more than just Needle Fiber alone and barely has to play any bad cards in it. So the engine I'll be discussing about will be the P.U.N.K engine, and the reason for that is because it does so much with just so little, and you barely have to play any bad cards in it, and on top of that, you get to abuse Emergency Teleport. Before I get into the intricate details about this engine, I will actually cover every single card needed for this engine to operate in the first place. First of all, we have the bread and butter Punxi Amen, which is the level 3 Earth Tuner monster that allows you to search a P.U.N.K monster from your deck to your hand by paying 600 life points once per turn, so of course it's a no-brainer that we want to play 3 of this card. And since it is a psychic monster, you get to play 3 emergency teleports, so we're already at 6 cards. Now the other cards are just one-ofs, either because they're a little bit redundant because they do something that you can already do with the other cards, or because you just don't really want to draw them, not necessarily because they're garnets, but because you can search them anyways. We are playing 1 Ogre Dance because it allows you to search the Z Amen in case you don't have it, and in case you already drew one of the other monsters that I'm going to specify in a couple of seconds. Ogre Dance is probably the second best card to search. Now the next card will be Foxy Tune, a level 8 monster as well, just like Ogre Dance, but this time, this monster will actually be using its second effect in order to discard itself and special summon a P.U.N.K monster from your deck, probably being the Dianote, which is the final monster that I will be covering. Dianote is a level 5 non-tuner monster, of course. It has a pretty nice effect when it is sent to the graveyard. Basically, it is a monster reborn for a non-level 5 monster, but you cannot summon Dianote for the rest of the turn, which is completely irrelevant. So in other words, on top of being able to make a level 8 synchro using the Dianote that you summoned off of the Foxy Tune, and the Z Amen that searched the Foxy Tune to begin with, you get to make Chaos Ruler and then revive back a level 8 monster, or a level 3 monster such as Z Amen, and then you either get to make a level 11 monster, a Link 2 Needle Fiber because you have a tuner monster, or a rank 8 Xyz monster. But yeah, in other words, there are 7 good cards in this engine and 2 relatively bad cards, quote-unquote. It really depends on your interpretation. But the good cards would be Ogre Dance, 3 Emergency Teleport, and 3 Z Amen. And the, again, quote-unquote bad cards would be the Foxy Tune and the Dianote. But like I said, the quote-unquote bad cards aren't actually the end of the world to draw, because if you draw, let's say, Foxy Tune, you can actually still get some kind of plays going, because you can discard it and then summon the Dianote from your deck, or the Z Amen, really depends on the situation, and then either link it off or synchro using the Dianote, revive back the Foxy Tune, so off of just 1 card in your hand with a discard, you are able to get a monster on the field, and then when that monster is sent to the graveyard, you get to get another monster from your graveyard. So it is actually a 2 for 2, which is pretty good. So since Foxy Tune is a decent draw, but not necessarily a good draw, we can actually say that it is 0.5 of a very good card, meaning that let's say we have 7.5 good cards out of 9 cards overall in the engine, meaning that we have like a 83% ratio of good to bad cards, which is very, very good and actually better than the Brave Token ratio. Alright, so this is cool and all, but what does the engine actually accomplish? If you listened to me during the video, I actually said that you could revive back the monsters that you used as synchro material when you were making stuff like Chaos Ruler. So you're not just making Chaos Ruler with 1 single card, but you're also reviving back either a level 3 or a level 8 monster. So you get to do so much more than just Chaos Ruler, meaning that if you want to mail 9 cards, for example, 5 with Chaos Ruler and 4 with the Zombie Vampire, using the other level 8 monster that you're reviving, you can definitely do that. But the super broken combo that I really want to showcase you guys would be the combo that you get to do when you revive back the level 3 tuner, which would be the Z Amen, in order to make Needle Fiber and then summon Plague Spreader Zombie, revive back the Chaos Ruler, and then you have Formula Synchron on your opponent's turn, drawing 1 card, and then you're going to be able to quick sync into the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend King Calamity, which prevents your opponent from basically using any cards or effects for the whole turn. So that's actually really disgusting. Usually the setup would be very difficult to achieve, but the fact that you can do that with only 1 single card, assuming that you even get unlucky with your Chaos Ruler and don't even mail anything of value, you still get to do so much. It's actually crazy, because I remember that I was trying to break the Synchro monster for like the longest time. I was like, if only there was like a real good way of doing it with 1 card, preferably not using my normal summon, and preferably not trying to play 20 Garnets, but this engine is probably the closest there is to something something that can easily pull off a King Calamity summon on your opponent's turn. So like I said, you can do that when you get unlucky with your males with Chaos Ruler. So in other words, try to think about it this way. If you get unlucky, one single card plus a discard equals Zexal at worst. And if you're lucky, you can do so much more than that because you can, I don't know, excavate something, keep it in your hand, such as a hand trap or whatever, and you can generate a lot of graveyard effects. And if the card that you're discarding off of the Foxy Tune also has a graveyard effect, well, all the better because you're not really going to be minusing off of the discard. If anything, it might actually help you out. So the P.U.N.K engine is fantastic to splash in combo decks in general. I want to say 60 card decks are probably the best decks that can really abuse engines such as the Psy Reflector, whatever Assault Mode Activate engine, as well as the P.U.N.K engine, both being kind of similar because they all have the same point in common, which would be the fact that Emergency Teleport gets both engines started. So if you play Emergency Teleport and you get to summon two very big, high-impact juice monsters, well, you're going to have a lot of aggressiveness and sheer power when you get to draw that Emergency Teleport with either one because it means that you can access both engines. But that's basically all I had to say for this video. Let me know if I actually missed anything about the P.U.N.K engine in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.